I love you so much, I could eat you up. We say this as a term of endearment, but Alan Watts suggests it is actually a diagnosis. We live in a culture obsessed with possession. We demand certainty. We demand forever. We treat our partners like property or life rafts to save us from drowning in loneliness. But this isn't love, it's hunger. And when you treat a person like food, you eventually consume them. In this deep dive philosophy session, we face the brutal truth about attachment. We learn why holding on to love is like trying to grab Quicksilver, Mercury. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. In this video, we cover the 4 pillars of liberated love, the art of the open hand, why security is an illusion and possession is impossible, the paradox of the vow, why promising to feel a certain way forever is a lie that destroys intimacy, the vampire of security, how to stop using your partner to fix your own God-shaped hole, the risk of the crash, why the pain of loss is the only proof that you actually lived. If you are tired of anxious attachment and want to learn how to love with a free heart, this video is for you. We begin our inquiry into the nature of love with a sensation that is uncomfortably familiar to every adult human being. It is a specific kind of tightness. You feel it in the chest. You feel it in the pit of the stomach. It is a mixture of sweetness and terror. You have found something, or rather, someone, precious. You have found a person who makes the colors of the world seem brighter, who makes the music sound deeper, who makes the simple act of waking up in the morning feel like a privilege. And immediately, following the shadow of this joy, comes the demon of anxiety. A voice whispers in your ear, what if this ends? What if they leave? What if they change? What if someone else takes them away? And so instinctively, biologically, we react. We clench. We tighten our grip. We begin to build walls to keep the beloved in, and walls to keep the rest of the world out. We start to measure, to check, to demand assurances. We call this fighting for love. But Alan Watts invites us to consider a terrifying possibility. What if this very act of fighting to keep love is the very thing that kills it? What if the mechanism of possession is by its nature an act of strangulation? We are going to explore the first great paradox of romance. You can only keep what you do not try to possess. To understand this, we must look at the physics of the world. Watts offered us the perfect image for the nature of love. Quicksilver, Mercury. Imagine you have a globule of Quicksilver in your hand. It is heavy, shiny, and fascinating. It is alive. Now, if you want to hold it, you must hold your hand open. You must cup it gently. You must allow it to rest there on its own terms. As long as your hand is open and relaxed, the Quicksilver stays. It is content. You possess it by not possessing it. But the moment you get anxious, the moment you think, I must make sure I have this, and you close your fingers to grasp it, what happens? The pressure of your grip forces the Quicksilver to squirt out through the cracks of your fingers. It scatters into 1,000 tiny beads and is lost forever. Love is exactly like Quicksilver. Love is exactly like water. You can cup your hands and drink the water, but if you try to grab the water, if you try to make a fist out of it, you come up dry. Why? Because love is not a solid object. Love is a process. Love is a flow of energy between two people. You cannot capture a flow. You cannot put a wave in a box. When you box a wave, it ceases to be a wave. It becomes a pool of stagnant water. Why do we have this urge to clench? It comes from our obsession with permanence. We live in a culture that equates real with permanent. If a marriage lasts 50 years, we say it was a successful marriage. If a romance lasts 6 months and ends, we say it was a failure. But this is an absurdity. Is a flower a failure because it blooms for only a week? Is a song a failure because it ends? No. The beauty of the flower and the song lies precisely in their movement. in their rising and fading. We try to turn our lovers into statues. We want them to be predictable. We want them to be the same person tomorrow that they are today. We say, "Promise me you will never change." But this is a request for death. Only dead things do not change. If you succeeded, if you actually managed to lock your partner in a mental cage where they could never surprise you, never leave you, and never grow, you would eventually become bored with them. You would realize that you are living with a mannequin, not a human being. We destroy the wild, dangerous, beautiful thing we fell in love with in order to turn it into a safe, domestic ornament that we can place on our mantelpiece. And then we wonder where the passion went. The passion went away because you suffocated it with security. This brings us back to Watt's favorite psychological principle, the law of reversed effort. In the realm of the mind and emotions, things work backward. If you try to drown, you float. If you try to float by tensing up, you sink. If you try to chase happiness, you become miserable. And here, if you try to demand love, you become unlovable. Think about the dynamic of the clinger. The clinger is terrified of being left alone, so they call constantly. They check texts. They ask, "Do you love me?" 10 times a day. They get jealous if the partner talks to someone else. What is the energetic signal they are sending? They are sending a signal of lack. They are saying, "I am empty. I need you to fill me. I am a vacuum." And nature abhors a vacuum, but people run away from it. No one wants to be consumed. When you cling, you turn into a hungry ghost. You become heavy. You become a burden. The partner feels this weight. They feel the walls closing in. And instinctively, they want to escape. They want to breathe. So the clinger creates the very reality they fear. By trying so hard to keep the partner, they drive the partner away. Now consider the opposite, the open hand. This person loves deeply, but they do not clutch. They say in essence, "I love you. I enjoy your presence, but I do not own you. You are free. If you choose to walk beside me, I am delighted. If you choose to walk a different path, I will grieve, but I will not try to chain you." This is incredibly attractive. Why? Because it signals abundance. It signals that this person is whole in themselves. They are not a parasite looking for a host. They are a sun looking for a planet to shine on. When you give someone total freedom, they often choose to stay. Why would they leave a place where they are both loved and free? That is the rarest combination on earth. To practice the art of the open hand, we must accept the wiggliness of the world. Watts often used the word wiggly to describe nature. Clouds are wiggly, mountains are wiggly, rivers are wiggly, people are wiggly. We try to impose straight lines, rules, laws, contracts, rigid expectations upon a wiggly world. We try to make life geometric and orderly, but you cannot straighten a cloud, and you cannot straighten a human heart. Feelings are like the weather. Can you stand on your porch and command the wind to stop blowing? Can you command the clouds to freeze in a pleasing formation? No, you can only watch them. You can enjoy the sunny days and take shelter during the stormy days. But in relationships, we try to be weather magicians. We say, "I command you to feel sunny and romantic towards me every single day for the rest of your life." It is madness. And when the weather inevitably changes, when the partner feels distant or sad or angry, we panic. We think something has gone wrong. Nothing has gone wrong. The weather has just changed. If you hold the relationship with an open hand, you can ride out the storm. You say, "Ah, it's raining today." Okay. You don't take it personally. You don't try to force the sun to come out by screaming at the sky. And usually, because you didn't make a fuss, the clouds pass and the sun returns naturally. How do we apply this? We must look at our relationships like breathing. You cannot hold your breath. If you try to hold on to the breath because you love oxygen so much, you will turn blue and pass out. You must let the breath go, exhale, in order to get it back. Inhale. In love, there is an inhale, closeness, intimacy, connection, and an exhale, distance, space, autonomy. Many of us refuse to exhale. We want constant, unbroken closeness. We suffocate the relationship. The practice is to trust the exhale. When your partner needs space, let them go. Let them have their hobbies, their friends, their private thoughts. Let them recede like the tide. Trust that, like the tide, they will come back. And if they don't come back, then they were never yours to begin with. You were holding a corpse, not a living person. So, the first pillar of our philosophy is the courage to open the fist. It is the realization that possession is an illusion. You cannot own a person any more than you can own the wind in the trees. You can only enjoy the wind while it is blowing. But this leads us to a difficult social problem. If we cannot own people, and if feelings are as changeable as the weather, then what is the point of marriage? What is the point of making a promise? Is it a lie to say, "I will love you forever"? Is commitment just a trap we set for ourselves? This leads us to the second pillar, the paradox of the vow. We must examine the conflict between the biological truth of emotion and the social necessity of the contract. We move now from the physics of the open hand to the sociology of the closed contract. We arrive at the altar. Picture the scene, a cathedral, flowers, music, two people trembling with genuine emotion stand before a priest or a judge. They look into each other's eyes and they say the most famous words in human history. "I take you to be my wedded spouse, to have and to hold, from this day forward until death do us part." It is beautiful. It is moving. It brings tears to our eyes. But Alan Watts, with his ruthless philosophical precision, points out that it is also, in a very deep sense, a form of madness. Why? Because it rests on a linguistic error. It rests on the assumption that you can promise a feeling. This is the second great paradox of love. We try to make a contract out of an emotion, and in doing so, we turn the emotion into a duty, which destroys the emotion. Let us examine what a promise actually is. A promise is an act of the will. It is a commitment to perform a future action. I can promise to meet you at the train station at 5 p.m. I can promise to pay you $100 next Tuesday. I can promise to wash the dishes tonight. These are physical actions. My will has control over my muscles. I can force my legs to walk to the station even if I don't feel like walking. But can I promise you that at 5 p.m. I will be hungry? Can I promise you that next Tuesday I will not have a headache? Can I promise you that for the next 50 years I will feel sexually attracted to you? No, because hunger, pain, and attraction are not acts of will. They are happenings. They are biological events. They are like the weather. They happen to you. When we force two young people who are currently high on the drug of oxytocin to stand up and promise that they will feel this way forever, we are forcing them to become liars. We are setting a trap that will snap shut 10 years down the road. What happens when you turn a want to into a have to? Imagine you love playing the piano. You play for hours every day because it brings you joy. It is play. Now imagine someone puts a gun to your head and says, "You must play the piano for 4 hours a day, every day, or else you are a bad person." What happens to the music? Instantly, the joy evaporates. The play becomes work. The passion becomes a chore. Every time you sit at the keys, you feel the weight of the obligation. You start to resent the piano. Eventually, you hate the piano. This is exactly what we do to love with the institution of the rigid marriage vow. We take the wild, free, spontaneous impulse of love and we wrap it in chains of duty. We say, "You are obligated to love this person." But love is not a faucet. You cannot turn it on with a handle. So when the natural ebb and flow of feelings occurs, when you wake up one Tuesday morning And just for that day you don't feel particularly loving, you panic. You think, I am breaking my promise, I am failing. And so to avoid the guilt, you start to act. You start to pretend. This leads to what psychologists call a double bind. It is a no-win situation. You pretend to love. You put on the mask. You say the words, I love you, but the tone is flat. You kiss, but the electricity is gone. You bring flowers, but it feels like paying a tax. The partner, unless they are totally insensitive, picks up on this. They feel the hollowness. So they ask, do you really love me? And you answer, of course I do, darling. Haven't I been a good husband/wife? But the partner knows. The partner feels the lie. But they cannot prove it because you are doing all the right things. You are fulfilling the contract. This drives people crazy. It creates an atmosphere of subtle gaslighting. Alan Watts said there is no dry rot in a house worse than the dry rot of a marriage kept together by sheer duty. It smells, it is stale, it is dead. Living with someone who is pretending to love you out of duty is far more humiliating than living with someone who honestly admits they don't love you anymore. At least the truth has dignity. The pretense turns both of you into actors in a bad soap opera. So, is Watts saying we should abolish marriage? Is he saying we should all just drift around having casual flings and never committing to anything? No, he is saying we must redefine what the commitment is. We should not commit to a feeling, we should commit to a partnership. Marriage, in the Wattsian view, is not a guarantee of eternal romance. It is a gamble. It is a cooperative venture. Two people look at each other and say, look, we are both rascals. We are both wiggly. We are both going to change. But I like you, and I want to play the game of life with you. I want to build a house with you, raise kids with you, and face the storms with you. I cannot promise that I will always feel the same, but I can promise to be your partner. I can promise to be honest with you. I can promise that I will stick around and try to work things out, even when I don't feel like it. Not because I am forced to, but because I choose to bet on us. This is a very different kind of vow. It is a vow of loyalty, not a vow of emotion. Loyalty is an action. You can be loyal to someone even when you are angry with them. You can wash their dishes even when you are not in love with them at that moment. When we base a relationship on the solid ground of partnership rather than the shifting sands of sentiment, we actually create a space where true love can survive. Why? Because the pressure is off. Here is a shocking insight. To keep love alive, you must allow space for hatred. If you tell yourself, I must never hate my partner, you repress the anger. Repressed anger turns into cold resentment, and cold resentment kills love. But if you admit, God, I hate you right now, you are being impossible. And if the container of your relationship is strong enough to hold that truth, then the anger can be expressed. It can be released. It flares up like a fire, burns the fuel, and dies down. And what is left in the ashes? Often, you find the love again. I hated you 5 minutes ago, but now that I've said it, I love you again. Relationships need to breathe. They need the full spectrum of human emotion. By trying to sanitize the relationship, by trying to make it all nice all the time, we turn it into a plastic flower. Plastic flowers never die, but they never smell, and they never grow. So the first aid for this section is a new kind of agreement. Let's call it the covenant of candor. Instead of promising, I will never leave you, try promising this. I promise that I will not fake it with you. I promise that if I stop loving you, I will tell you. I will not insult you by pretending. I will trust you enough to show you my real face. This sounds terrifying. It sounds like you are inviting a breakup. But paradoxically, this absolute honesty is the greatest aphrodisiac in the world. When you know your partner is with you not because they have to be, contract, and not because they are afraid to leave, guilt, but because they want to be there in this moment, that gives you a profound sense of security. You know that their yes means yes because their no is allowed to be no. If I lock the door, I don't know if you are staying because you love me or because you are a prisoner. If I open the door wide and you sit down in the chair, then I know you are truly mine. We have opened the hand, part 1. We have rewritten the vow, part 2. We have moved from a relationship based on fear and duty to a relationship based on freedom and truth. But even if we do this, there is still a deep, gnawing hunger that drives us to possess people. There is a reason why we are so terrified of the door being open. It is because the ego feels fundamentally incomplete. It feels like a fragment, and it seeks a romantic partner not just for companionship, but for salvation. We use love to solve the problem of our own existence. We try to use another person to fill the God-shaped hole in our hearts. This leads us to the third pillar, possession as isolation. We must explore why the desperate need for a soulmate is actually a symptom of a spiritual error. We arrive now at the darkest and most sensitive part of our inquiry. We have looked at the open hand and we have looked at the honest vow, but we must dig deeper. We must ask, why is the urge to possess so strong? Why does the thought of losing a partner feel not just like sadness, but like annihilation? Alan Watts suggested that in the modern world, romantic love has replaced religion. In the past, people looked to God for ultimate security, for meaning, and for salvation. But as God died in the modern consciousness, we did not lose the hunger for the absolute. We simply transferred it. We took all the infinite expectations we used to place on the Creator, and we dropped them onto the shoulders of a fragile, imperfect human being. We look at our boyfriend, our girlfriend, or our spouse, and secretly, unconsciously, we say, "Save me. Save me from the emptiness of life. Save me from my own shadow. Make me feel real. Be my God." This is the third great paradox. When you try to use another person to heal your own isolation, you end up consuming them. You turn love into a form of spiritual cannibalism. To understand this, we must return to the root of the problem, the ego. As we discussed in previous series, the average person feels themselves to be a skin-encapsulated ego, a lonely little consciousness trapped inside a bag of skin, facing a vast, indifferent universe. This sensation of separation is terrifying. It is the great loneliness. Deep down, the ego feels small, weak, and mortal. It feels like a fraud. It feels that if it is left entirely alone, it might simply cease to exist. So the ego looks for a solution. It looks for an anchor. It thinks, if I can find another person to merge with me, someone who witnesses me, acknowledges me, and pledges their life to me, then I am real. I am safe. I have an ally against the dark. We call this finding our other half. But notice the language, other half. This implies that you are currently only half a person. You are a fragment looking for completion. When two half people meet and fall in love, the initial feeling is ecstatic. Finally, I am whole. They cling to each other. They merge. They say, I cannot live without you. This sounds romantic in a pop song, but in psychological reality, it is a disaster. If I cannot live without you, then I am not a free agent giving you my love. I am a drowning man clutching at a life raft. And if you are my life raft, I must possess you. I cannot let you drift away, not even for a moment, because if you drift away, I drown. This creates a dynamic of absolute terror. Every time you look at someone else, every time you want to be alone, I panic. Not because I love you, but because I need you to survive. Watts was very blunt about this. He said, this is not love, this is hunger. When you love a chicken, what do? You kill it and eat it. You absorb it into yourself to sustain your own life. You say, I love chicken, but really you love yourself and you are using the chicken to fuel that self. Many relationships are just two people eating each other. I need your attention to feel pretty. I need your praise to feel successful. I need your body to feel powerful. We are sucking the life out of the partner to fill the void in our own souls. We are vampires of security. And eventually, the partner feels drained. They feel the heaviness of being your everything. No human being can be another person's God. It is too much weight. They will eventually buckle and collapse, or they will run away to save their lives. Watts offered a beautiful alternative image. Bad relationships are like two A-frame poles leaning against each other. If one moves, the other falls. They are mutually dependent in a weak way. Good relationships are like two tall trees growing side by side. Their roots may intertwine, their branches may touch and dance in the wind, but the trunk of each tree stands firmly on its own ground. If the oak tree dies, the pine tree grieves, but it does not fall over. To have a healthy relationship, you must bring a whole self to the table. You must be a circle, not a semicircle. You must be able to say, I do not need you to be happy. I am already happy. I do not need you to make me real. I am already real. Because I am full, I have an overflow of energy, and I want to share this overflow with you. This is the difference between need love, deficiency, and gift love, abundance. Need love says, give me. Gift love says, share with me. Only people who are capable of being alone are capable of love. This sounds paradoxical, but it is the absolute truth. If you are terrified of solitude, you are using the other person as a shield against solitude. You are not seeing them, you are only seeing the relief they provide. But if you can sit in your room alone and feel content, if you can enjoy your own company, then when you go out to meet someone, you are doing it out of pure delight, not desperation. The vampire mind is obsessed with the concept of mine, my wife, my husband, my boyfriend. We treat people like property. We think we have a title deed to their soul. But Watts reminds us, you do not even own your own body. Can you control your heartbeat? Can you control your digestion? Can you stop your cells from aging? No. Your body is a process that is happening to you. It belongs to the earth. If you don't even own your own skin, how can you possibly claim to own the person inside another skin? The desire to own is a delusion of the ego. It is an attempt to freeze the universe. When we say, you are mine, we are trying to stop the flow of life. We are trying to turn a thou, a subject, into an it, an object. True intimacy requires that we relinquish the claim of ownership. We must realize that the person we love is a mystery. They are a universe unto themselves. We can visit their universe, we can explore it, we can rest in it, but we can never, ever conquer it. So, what is the first aid for the vampire tendency? How do we stop eating our partners? We must heal the hole in ourselves. We must practice the art of solitude. This does not mean breaking up. It means reclaiming your own center. Here is the practice. Take yourself on a date. Go to a movie alone. Go to dinner alone. Go for a long walk alone. And do it without your phone. Do it without the distraction of texting your partner. Face the feeling of being just you. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. The ego will scream, I look like a loser. Everyone is judging me. I am lonely. Stay with the feeling. Breathe into it. Realize that you are not actually alone. You are with the universe. You are with the trees, the sky, the sounds of the city. You are a part of the great dance. When you realize that you are fundamentally connected to the cosmos, the panic of isolation fades. You realize you don't need another human to validate you. The sun validates you by shining on you. The air validates you by breathing you. Once you find this internal stability, you can go back to your partner. And now, when you hug them, it will be different. You won't be clutching them like a drowning man clutching a log. You will be hugging them like a king hugging a queen. It will be a meeting of two sovereign powers engaging in a voluntary alliance of joy. We have dismantled the trap of need. We have moved from the vampire who takes to the whole person who shares. We have realized that possession is just a symptom of our own spiritual insecurity. But there is one final, lingering question, a question that haunts even the most enlightened lovers. If we let go of possession, if we let go of the vow, if we let go of the need, what happens when the worst actually happens? What happens when the Quicksilver does spill? What happens when they leave? Or worse, when they die? How do we handle the ultimate pain of loss? This leads us to the fourth and final pillar, the risk of the crash. We must learn why the pain of loss is not a mistake, but the very price of the ticket to life. We have reached the end of the line. We have opened our hands. We have spoken the truth. We have learned to stand on our own 2 feet. But there remains one final, terrifying obstacle. It is the thing that keeps most people awake at night. It is the thing that turns warm hearts into cold stones. It is the fear of the end. You look at your beloved, sleeping peacefully beside you, and a thought pierces you like a cold knife. One day, this will be gone. One day, they might walk out the door and never come back. Or, one day, the biology will fail. The heart will stop beating. Death, the ultimate separator, will come. The ego, which is obsessed with survival and continuity, screams, "This is unacceptable. If it's going to end in pain, why start it at all? Why build a house if it's going to burn down?" And so, many of us make a tragic decision. We decide to insure ourselves against heartbreak. We decide to love a little less. We hold back. Or we avoid relationships altogether, retreating into a safe, sterile tower of independence. Alan Watts has a message for the safety seekers. To eliminate the risk of the crash is to eliminate the joy of the flight. This is the fourth and final pillar. Love is a gamble, and it is the only gamble worth taking. Watts often told a story, inspired by C.S. Lewis and others, about a man who was terrified of pain. This man had been hurt before. He had given his heart away, and it had been returned to him bruised, bleeding, and scarred. So he said, "Never again." He took his heart out of his chest. He put it in a beautiful box. It was lined with velvet. It was airtight. It was locked with steel. And he buried it deep in the garden of his mind, where no one could touch it, no one could break it, and no light could reach it. Years passed. The man lived a very safe life. He never cried. He never raged. He never felt the sting of rejection. He was perfectly secure. One day he decided to open the box. He wanted to check on his heart. He unlocked the steel. He lifted the velvet, and he found that his heart had changed. It was not broken. It was not bleeding, but it was no longer a heart. It had turned into a lump of coal. It was hard, cold, and completely unbreakable, but it was also completely dead. This is the price of safety. If you refuse to be hurt, you also refuse to be alive. To understand this, we must look at the nature of the nervous system. Watts points out that sensitivity is a spectrum. You cannot selectively numb one end of the spectrum without numbing the other. If you want to have the capacity to feel the ecstatic highs of love, you must have the capacity to feel the crushing lows of grief. They are the same capacity. They are the same nerve ending. It is like a violin string. To make a beautiful sound, the string must be pulled tight. It must be under tension. If you loosen the string to make it safe from snapping, it will not snap. But it will also not make music. It will just make a dull thud. We live in a culture that tries to anesthetize us. We take pills to stop sadness. We seek distractions to stop loneliness. We want the high without the low. But this creates a flatline existence, a zombie existence. To love is to say, I am willing to be hurt. I am willing to be devastated, because the alternative, being a stone, is worse. Watts loved the analogy of skiing. Why do people ski? It is dangerous. You are strapping sticks to your feet and hurling yourself down a frozen mountain at 60 miles per hour. You could break a leg, you could hit a tree, you could die, but that is precisely why it is fun. If you remove the gravity, if you remove the speed, if you made it perfectly safe so you just floated gently down on a cushion, it would be boring. The joy of skiing is the control within the chaos. It is the dance with danger. It is the feeling of being on the edge of disaster, but managing to stay upright through skill and grace. Love is the ultimate black diamond ski run. You are hurling yourself into the unknown with another human being. You don't know what is around the corner. You don't know if there is ice ahead. The crash is always a possibility. But the person who stands at the top of the mountain, trembling, and takes off their skis because it's too risky, misses the whole point of winter. They stay safe in the lodge, drinking hot chocolate, looking out the window at the people who are truly living. Don't be the person in the lodge. Put on the skis. Risk the broken leg. The wind in your face is worth it. But what happens when the crash actually happens? What happens when the person dies or leaves? The pain is excruciating. It feels like your chest is being ripped open. Watts invites us to reframe this pain. Usually we treat grief as a pathology. We treat it as something wrong that needs to be fixed. We want to get over it. But what if grief is not a sickness? What if grief is simply the receipt you hold in your hand that proves you loved well? Imagine you go to the finest restaurant in the world. You eat a banquet fit for a king. You drink the finest wine. You laugh with friends. At the end of the night, the waiter brings the bill. It is a huge bill. It is expensive. Do you cry? Do you scream, "This is unfair"? No, you pay it. You pay it with a nod of respect. You say, "It was worth it." Grief is the bill for love. The depth of your grief is the direct reflection of the depth of your joy. If you didn't love them, you wouldn't grieve them. So when the pain comes, do not run from it. Do not drug it. Sit with it. Honor it. Say to the pain, "I am hurting this much because I love this much. This pain is my tribute to the beauty of what we had." By accepting the pain as part of the deal, as the cost of the ticket, you lose the second arrow. The first arrow is the loss itself, sadness. The second arrow is the resistance to the loss, suffering, bitterness. Why me? If you accept the first arrow, it is clean pain. It heals. It washes through you like a storm. If you add the second arrow, it becomes a festering wound. Finally, we must understand why things must end. Watts often compared a diamond to a flower. A diamond is hard. It lasts forever. It is perfect. A flower is soft. It lasts for a few days. It wilts and dies. Which is more alive? If you hold a diamond in your hand, it is cold. It does nothing. It is static. If you look at a flower, it is vibrant. It is fragile. Its very existence is a miracle because it is fighting a losing battle against time. We love the flower because it dies. If the cherry blossom stayed on the tree for 365 days a year, we wouldn't have festivals to celebrate them. We would ignore them. They would be like plastic decorations. The fact that they fall makes them precious. Your relationship is a flower, not a diamond. The fact that your partner is mortal, the fact that this conversation might be your last, is what gives the moment its sweetness. The shadow of death is what gives the light of life its contrast. If you lived forever, and if your partner lived forever, you wouldn't bother to kiss them today. You'd say, "I'll do it in a million years." But because the clock is ticking, the kiss matters. The touch matters. We have completed our journey. Let us pack our kit. Here is the philosophy of Alan Watts on love, condensed into a field guide for the modern heart. The open hand, Quicksilver. Stop clutching. Stop controlling. Realize that possession is impossible. Let your partner be free. If they stay, it is a gift. If they go, it is nature. The honest vow. no duty. Don't promise to feel, promise to partner. Remove the pressure of forever and replace it with the integrity of now. Base your relationship on truth, not obligation. The whole trees, no vampires. Stop trying to use love to fix your loneliness. Learn to be happy alone. Bring a full cup to the table, not an empty bowl. Stand tall on your own roots. The courage to crash, the gamble. Accept that it might end. Accept that you might get hurt. Do it anyway. Pay the bill of grief with gratitude. Love the flower because it fades. Alan Watts would likely end this lecture with a laugh. A deep, resonant, cosmic laugh. He would tell you that it's all a game. It's all a dance. You are the universe playing at being two lovers. So stop worrying about the steps. Stop looking at your feet. Stop trying to figure out where the dance leads. The music is playing right now. Take the hand of the person next to you. Look them in the eye and dance.